This is the TSG Multimedia Podcast, bringing you the best train, model railroad, and historic preservation news, updates, and information since 2010.
We're sponsored this month by the TSG Train Crew on Patreon and by ModelRailroadControlSystems.com, Electronics for Operations, and by Podomatic, a podcast hosting and distributing platform. Thank you very much.
Hello, and welcome to the TSG Multimedia Podcast. I'm your host, John. This is the longest ongoing train and railroad-related podcast in the galaxy and has been available monthly in both audio and video form since 2010. August was pretty busy, but not as busy as it could have been since Sydney and I both got COVID around the middle of the month. More about that later. But first, I want to mention that we are now in September, which marks the 7th anniversary of the TSG Train Crew on Patreon. When I started on Patreon, we had about 20,000 or so subscribers on YouTube, and my hope was that some small percentage of those viewers, like maybe 1 or 2%, would want to send in a couple bucks a month to help out. And that would make what we do completely self-sustaining. Well, it's 7 years later, and we're still working on that first percent. If you appreciate the content you enjoy here, this is a great time to help us make it to that modest goal of 1%. In return, you'll get access to all the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on here almost in real time. There are other perks as well, but that's the main one. Please go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia and add your name to the list that has been scrolling past on the right side of the screen. If you can't afford to pitch in, there's a way to help for free. Just comment on and share your favorite videos from this channel as far and wide as you can. That also helps a lot. We also have sponsors, and I've included links to their websites in the written description of this program. Supporting them helps them support us. Thanks to everyone who helps create the content for this channel. Hi, we're at the SBHRS this morning, doing some more database entry of the artifacts here, and I found one that I thought was really specific. Let me just say it that way, but check this out. It's a badge for the Southern Pacific Steamboat Police. I don't know why that just sounds funny to me. Okay, this is a bit later, of course, and we just finished our, session here of documenting or entering these artifacts into a database, and I want to tell you about a piece of equipment we found and we couldn't figure out for sure what it was. It's this tall hand truck that has these sort of grabber things on the bottom. There's a device on the back where you can push with your foot to close the tongs or push another lever with your foot to open the tongs. I think it's some kind of an ice grabbing device, like you grab blocks of ice with it. And Robin said he figures it's probably something for picking up crates or something like that. So if you've ever seen one of these things and you know what it is, put a comment below. And we're probably both wrong, and that's okay. But I would like to know what this is. Thanks for your help if you do know. Tell me it's an ice grabber. We're at the Santa Clara Depot today, and when we arrived, I found this Caltrain MP15 DC doing some switching. This is something that you just don't see every day. We're here for something else, though. There's actually an event going on that Caltrain is putting on here at the depot. It's called Caltrain Camp. And Sydney has volunteered to do one of the stations. I don't even understand really what the event is. I'm going to try to get someone on camera to talk about it so you can see that things happen around here and they need volunteers. And if you're inclined, you could volunteer. Just saying. I'm here to sort of capture what's going on, not just for this podcast, but I'm also going to be taking pictures that she can then use for social media. And this train undoubtedly has a bunch of kids coming to Caltrain Camp. Sure looks like it anyway. As part of this event, both of the layouts in our layout room will be open, and undoubtedly the members will have some of their best trains running. That's what we do on open to the public events. I think they're going to have live music playing in the tent that's kind of in the middle on the back end of this little setup here. So it's kind of a little shindig going on.
Hi folks, my name is Dan Mazer, otherwise known as Banjo Dan. Wow, banjos rock! I'm here to play children's songs and train songs for the folks here at Camp Caltrain. Something like this.
Hello, I'm Edward Thielen. I'm the Special Events Coordinator for the South Bay Historical Railroad Society. And Caltrain is putting on a Camp Caltrain event to orient kids to railroads and Caltrain before they go back to school.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Libbs. I am the marketing manager with Caltrain, and we are at Camp Caltrain right now at Santa Clara Station. And the purpose of this event is just family outreach and to get folks out to the station, familiar with the station, the trains, and to celebrate trains in general, and especially the young guys that are out here today. We know they love trains, so we want to do a summer event for them where they can come out and see trains and get some free train swag. And so here it is, Camp Caltrain.
Well, it's a little bit later, and things are filling in a bit. They're expecting some 750 to 1,000 people here at this event today. And this is just what it looks like in this little parking lot at the end. I'm going to go inside and we'll look at that in a minute.
Trains also carry mail, food, and other cargo over long distances.
Program to assist with that. However, because it's a different country, right, they have their own regulations.
We've finished up at the event, and it seemed like a pretty well attended event. If I had to guess, I'd say there were, a couple hundred people there, maybe a few hundred people there. And they had everything from, face painting to, I don't even know. I mean, coloring, books, story time, question and answer, and a bouncy thing.
Sports teams.
Everything that you saw on the video. And so they put on a pretty cool event. And I'm glad that SBHRS was able to be part of it and host it. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the last thing I got to see, which was pretty cool, was a new-ish cab car on an ACE train. I don't remember having seen one of those before. I probably did, but just didn't realize what it was or didn't pay attention. But that was pretty cool. So overall, a good event, and glad that we were able to help in some way. I'm at an operating session today at the rawhide duct tape, and something happened that I thought I would share with you because I find it kind of interesting. So here's what happened. You see that locomotive behind the hill there? That's my locomotive. And I came across this guy. Well, what is this? That's called a flagman. And there's a flagman here because there's somebody working on the tracks ahead of where I am. And the flagman tells me that I can't just proceed down the main line because there may be a train there. So I'm going to find out what's going on up the tracks. Here we are up the tracks, and you can see that there's someone switching. Who could that be? Oh, it's you.
Hey, John.
So what's happening over here, Seth? Are you working on the...
Right. I'm switching Monterey, and I have to work in industry that's worked off the main, so I needed a little headroom, and I put my flagman out there on the main so that you wouldn't come along thinking everything was fine and crash into my car. So what I'm going to do, since you're just proceeding down the main, is clear up into Monterey, and then I'm going to wait for you to go by, and then my flagman will get back out and protect me again, and I'm going to go back to Ord and finish my work.
So there's two principles at play here. One is, thank you for doing the right thing and putting the flagman out, because someone might forget to do that. And the other thing is, thank me for stopping when I saw the flagman and actually seeing the flagman, because we've run those guys over before.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the reasons we make the electric flagmen, because they're a lot more visible than the paper ones.
There's an opportunity to plug the flagman.
There's an opportunity to plug another model railroad control systems product.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yes, I think you have.
They seem like nice people to me.
Well, I don't know, until you get to know them. Oops. Where are you from? Okay, I've called in the flagman from the west.
So now Seth has cleared up the main for me and called his flagman to get off the track, and I can go now. So and this job that I'm working this morning, my first job of the day, is the sand train. And I basically started at the far end of the layout. I did a little bit of switching out some cars at a siding, and I'm taking the rest of this train up to the sand facility at a place called Pacific Grove. And as Seth mentioned, I'm just going through Monterey at this point.
Belatedly dimming my headlights since I'm on the sidewalk.
Rule 17.
Light. Although to be fair, in 1941 you didn't use the headlight during the day.
Every now and then, we have a perfect storm in Castroville. If you look carefully,
So it's all Sydney's fault.
1, 2, 3,
And then another one coming the other way.
actually 5. 5.
Oh, neat.
All going through here in the next 5 minutes.
I think you need some extra tracks
And
here.
Charlie's actually narrated that on camera.
We have.
Oh, yes.
I think it began with,
Bleep!
Well, this is a bit later and made it back home. I just want to thank Dave again for a great time. Always have a good session at Dave's place. And of course, you know, we operated with a lot of really fun people. Friends, really, all of them. Count myself and ourselves lucky to know so many nice people. So thanks, Dave. And thanks to everybody who was there. We had a great time and hopefully picked something to share on the podcast that was, I don't know, informational, I guess. That's it for now. See you on the next podcast update.
This is scary. Seth's trying to play trains.
Seth is trying to play trains?
And he's not even blinding us with his headband of death.
Headband of Death.
Looks like Darth Vader or something.
Yes. I think it's more like the guy from, what was it?
RoboCop?
No, the Day the Earth Stood Still. What was his name? The robot.
Robo.
Today we're doing an operating session at Glenn Sutherland's Sierra 1923 layout. And just like the last op session where we were operating at Dave Lovelace's R&D last weekend, if I come across anything informational here, I'll be sure to share that with you. So it should be a good session though. We've operated here before, and of course you can see a layout video of this layout here on the channel. I'll put a link in the description of the podcast. So gonna go have some fun now.
Hi, so getting ready to start today, and a good tip for operators is to make sure you read through all of your instructions that you're given for your job and review the timetable, all the things you're supposed to pick up and spot if it's written this way. And then kind of walk the line and see what you're doing along the way. And just take a few moments to pause, get familiar with the job, and then do the job. And it can make a big difference on not making a mistake somewhere along the line of, ooh, I should have left cars back there so I can go do this part of the job. So those kind of tricks can become apparent when you go and review the job. So.
This is one of my favorite jobs on this layout, the rock train, because it utilizes live loads.
So those rocks in the cars, I think, are kitty litter, if I remember right. And as you'll see, there's an actuator on the chute here.
2 minutes before noon, so
and
probably wind up within the next few
as I get onto that, it'll activate the gate at the bottom of the hopper. And look.
Whatever. Got enough logs that it'll stop.
And we showed this on the layout tour. It's just really cool. Not a lot of HO scale layouts use live loads like this.
Unless we test things and
So I'm being told we're going to break for lunch. And I believe that's the end of the session, is lunchtime. So unlike some layouts, as I leave this train in the siding here, my job is not complete. Glenn says he doesn't mind finishing up jobs. So he'll pick up where I left off when he has some free time, and he'll run trains on his layout. And that's a lot of fun for people. It will restage through Glenn's diligence. This is a bit later, and we've made it back home now. Just want to take a quick minute to thank Glenn for having us over again. Always a great time. And the op session was really fun. And so my takeaway today is what Sydney was talking about earlier about being really familiar with your instructions, but I'll take it a little bit further and say it would make sense to me, especially if you haven't been to a layout, to take your instructions, read them, digest them, and when you get to the layout, go around the layout and find the places where you have to do work and see what the layout is. See what the track arrangement is and figure out a way to do it that will make sense. I think being that familiar with a new layout will help most new operators get their work done not only efficiently, but more realistically. So anyway, just something to think about. Thanks again, Glenn, and I'll catch you all on the next update. Hello, I've driven up to Roaring Camp today, and I'm going to be riding the beach train to collect some what we call B-roll footage for the video I've been talking to you about for the past month or two. That's all about the Mount Herman charter that they run out of here, and also it's about the beach train too, I guess. And what I'm envisioning for this video is something that in prior years probably would have been released on DVD, but DVD is not really a thing these days. So it's going to be made for YouTube, of course. And I'll probably have some updates for you along the way, but that's what I'm doing today.
Going over the locomotive here, doing a little pre-trip inspection on the engine before we go out. It's required for the locomotive engineer to look over his engine before taking it out on the road, and just look at everything: the brake shoes, journal oil, engine oil, compressor oil, and headlights. Make sure everything works. So the brake pipe pressure, when it's released, runs at 90 pounds pressure. So when we release the brakes, take it down to 70 for the set. And then in a minute, I'm going to do a leakage test. We're going to see if we have any leakage in the brake pipe.
Anything over 5.
Anything, yeah, over 5 pounds, you can't, no good.
No bueno.
Then you got to find the leak. I cut out the pressure maintaining feature on the brake valve now, so if there's any leakage in the pipe, it'll show.
It's kind of weird. This is a sort of an unscheduled train. At this time of year, they've stopped their daily service to the Boardwalk, but there was some group that wanted to ride today, so they sold their minimum number of tickets, and so they're going to run a regular beach train. Now, in the video, there won't be anything about any of that. This is the behind-the-scenes stuff that's just for you on the podcast. And I want to mention, while I'm thinking about it, that people who are watching this on the podcast, you're watching this about, I don't know, weeks later than the TSG train crew on Patreon. Patreon members get these updates almost on a weekly basis. It's all the behind-the-scenes stuff of what we're doing to create the content that you see here on the channel. And you're welcome to go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia and sign up for Patreon. And you'll also get this behind-the-scenes stuff almost as it happens. It does take a minute to edit, but there are pretty much weekly updates on Patreon for train crew members. And also should mention that if you're watching this as a patron, I usually mention about links in the video or in the description below the video and all that kind of thing. Those don't apply to us because you're getting these before everybody else. And there's no description really in our videos on our previews. It's done that way for a reason, and it's done that way intentionally. So anyway, that's it for this update on the podcast. We will be doing
testing 1 2. Goodness gracious!
Sounds like it's working.
Testing 1 2 3 4 5.
So we've arrived in Santa Cruz now, and they're doing something unusual with this train. They actually have the train itself on kind of backwards. So they're going to cut the locomotive off the train, run the locomotive around the Y, and then shove the train in like they normally would. So it should be an interesting maneuver. Nothing else. We've made it to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and the train stopped. Got off the train. I'm going to grab something to eat here. And then the next bit of my journey here today, or work if you will, is to ride the train back to Roaring Camp and get more shots from the train. Then we'll be riding in the cab after that. So that's the update for now.
Just a little south of Los Gatos. However, by 1940, the old
We've made it back to Roaring Camp now, and the next step for my process today is to climb aboard the locomotive and get a GoPro set up for on the locomotive shots for this program I'm working on. So on the way back, I got a lot of good on the train shots, just what I was expecting and needing, including some shots of something called the arch that most people don't see. So far, so good.
From what I understand, they built these engines in runs of 5, and all 5 in that run would be identical. And with the idea being they were going to see what worked best,
and then come back later and standardize the whole fleet. But they never ended up doing that second part. So now, today, as a result, unless you have two that were built in the same run, they're going to have slight differences from each other. This one here, for example, has a 2-stack exhaust, and the 2600 has 4 stacks. The electrical cabinet in this one is laid out differently than the one in the 2600. And then our engine 2467 has the original F-unit barrel control stand in it, which is kind of neat. But yeah, they're all just a little bit different.
Everything you ever wanted to know about CF7s in 2 minutes from Engineer Hill. Hi, we've made it back down to Santa Cruz. You can see the boardwalk behind me here. And unfortunately, the GoPro had a major malfunction, and I did not get any GoPro footage at all. So about halfway down the hill here, I improvised and put a phone out on the front of the nose of the engine. Probably got a bunch of wind noise, but B-roll doesn't have to necessarily have great audio, so it should work out okay. We'll see. In any case, you have to, just like the railroads, you have to have a plan B and a plan C. And we went on to plan D, apparently. Anyway, that's your update for now. There'll be a little bit more because we still have to go back up the hill. So we're just pulling back into Roaring Camp here. You can see my other phone on that clamp just outside the engine. So I'm expecting to have a lot of wind noise on it. But other than that, the shot looked really good from where I was sitting in here.
This is actually the next morning, and I realized I forgot to record my final thoughts yesterday. But my final thoughts, now that I've had plenty of time to think about it, are they're still doing work, and it's still a job, and all that stuff, interfacing with the public and all the stuff that a lot of us don't like about those kind of jobs. But there's also a level of camaraderie and a relationship that has to happen when you work in this setting. And I know a lot of you that watch are railroaders, and you know what I'm talking about. And it probably seems obvious to you because you do it. But for those of us who aren't doing this day in and day out, and I'm thinking especially of the relationship between a conductor and an engineer, where safety is really paramount. I mean, the communication has to be really spot on in order for things to work the way they do. So I do want to thank these guys for the invitation to come document what they do. And the behind the scenes access is always a great thing to see because I get to share things with you here on the channel that most of us don't see every day. And I think that's pretty cool. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy about what I do. So anyway, thanks very much to the crew there, and especially to Kevin, who let me know when they were going out and doing all this interesting stuff. And of course, to Roaring Camp for doing what they do, because they have a very interesting and cool operation.
Hi, we did something today. We had a really cool Talking Trains show, and I'm doing something I don't usually do on the podcast, which is there's a little, I don't know what you call it, a banner running below our pictures here, because something else that happened this month was I got COVID. And so I'm out of commission really from going anywhere for probably at least a week because of this. So on the Talking Trains show, I did a public service announcement, which was for people, if you feel sick, please stay home, because chances are if someone had done what I just said, I wouldn't be sick right now. And I'm not going anywhere because I feel sick. Murph, it's not that hard for people to figure out, but let's talk about Talking Trains. I had a nice time, and Steve Lane and Paul Ingram did a presentation that I had seen once before that's all about, really, it's about modular layout design, but it's a lot more than just that. What did you think?
Yeah, it was actually a modular design, but it was a group of modules that actually carried out a theme, and I thought that was really kind of cool. All the individuals that are involved in the group that actually make each module are all dedicated to keeping the theme, consistent across the whole thing, and yet they've managed to make it so it's flexible, so that they can actually fit their presentation or their setup to whatever venue they actually go into. It was a really cool use of the modular concepts.
Something I will say also, having seen the layout twice, once when we did the layout video tour, which I've put a link to in the description of the podcast here, the San Ramon Valley branch. Also, I saw it at the PCR convention in Milpitas in 2024. And I can say that it is absolutely cohesive. Like, it almost looks like the same person built all of them. That's how well done it is and how well maintained that theme is. I thought you made an interesting point during the show, that usually when you see modular layouts in places, especially like a Fremo module, you have your frozen mountain scene on one module and the very next module could be the desert. And you didn't say it that way, but I've seen that. And so to see a modular, I guess, group do something that cohesive, as you said, I was also very impressed with that. So anyway, it's a really great, I think, presentation and worthwhile. And thanks again, Murph, for being the guest award-winning co-host. And, here it is.
The award. Yes.
There's the award.
I am the best Guillermo.
You are the only...
When John originally asked me if I would co-host, I said, "Oh, you mean I get to be your Guillermo?" And so he's given me the first ever Guillermo award.
It's probably the only Guillermo award.
Unless Guillermo got one.
Oh, wow, it's possible.
Check it out.
Yeah. Yimmy is probably not
we
that.
could get together. We could be buddies. That'd be great.
Anyway, so that's the Talking Trains show. Please take a look if you have a chance. I think you'll enjoy it. It has a lot of really great information, including a ton of great information about why people do it. That is model railroading. Thanks again, Murph.
Okay. Take care, John, and feel better.
I'm trying. There's a convention coming up in early September that I'm pretty excited about. It's the Rio Grande and Western Pacific Convention. And so I've asked my friends Jeff and Mike from the Rio Grande Society and the Western Pacific Society, respectively, to come on and talk about this convention, because not only is it going to be held in person, which they're going to talk about, but it's also going to be held virtually. And that's how I'm involved with it. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I think we'll go to you first, Jeff, because, well, you're the first one as I see it. So,
Okay.
yeah, tell people a little bit about you and about the convention.
Well, okay. My name is Jeff Pierce, and I am the president of the Rio Grande Modeling and Historical Society. I live in Salt Lake City, and like John said, we're here to talk about our upcoming convention, September 11th through 14th, to be held at the California State Railroad Museum in Sacramento. And we are looking forward to this because it's been a year and a half in the making, and it's actually here now in just a few days. And I'm just looking forward to the presentations because I'm obviously a member of the Rio Grande Society, but I've also have been a member of the Feather River Rail Society, the WP group, for about 15 years. I'm actually on the operating crew at Portola. And so both railroads are near and dear to my heart as I watched them both growing up here in Salt Lake City. So when the talk of this convention first came up, I was excited about it, and it was a little slow to get it going, but it picked up traction really quick, and it's come together really well. We think we're going to have a really good convention with some good presenters and good information for everybody that's attending.
Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about the event as you see it from the WP side of things?
Sure. Thanks, John. My name is Mike Cohen. I'm a director of the Western Pacific Railroad Museum and a member of the Western Pacific Historical Society. I'm also a WP modeler. And I'm very excited about this. In the organizing of the convention, we thought, wouldn't it be great to do a virtual version of this convention? And John, that's where you come in, and TSG Multimedia comes in. So if viewers are not able to attend in person, they can attend virtually. And I know on both websites, the Western Pacific website, which is wplives.org, there's you can click on or you just scroll down from the main page and you can see the information about the convention. And right there it says can attend live. Well, you can attend virtually, and you can sign up to see all the presentations that are happening. And one of them that I'm pretty excited about is a good friend of mine, Eric Blasco, is a very accomplished railfan photographer. And he was photographing the WP and the Rio Grande back in the late 70s and early 80s. And so he's doing a combined slideshow presentation on his experience as a young rail fan, where he went out and he rode the Rio Grande Zephyr back in 83, right before it shut down. He's rail fanned different parts of the Rio Grande. He used to take BART, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transit, to Niles Canyon and photograph the WP back when he was a teenager. And he's got some really neat stuff. I've known the guy for a long time, rail fanned with him extensively in many different locales. And yeah, he's just an excellent photographer and a good friend of mine. So there's plenty of content, all kinds of stuff, whether you're a Rio Grande fan, a WP fan, a fan of any of the WP subsidiaries, Sacramento Northern. There's presentations on the NCO, which is the Nevada, California, Oregon Railroad, which eventually WP bought part of the NCO and merged it into the railroad. So some really fascinating stuff, and I think it's going to be a really interesting convention, and I hope people attend either virtually or in person.
Yeah, I'm really excited because what these societies do is really up my alley and straight to the point of what this channel is all about, with preserving the history and documenting the history. And since we're talking about it, Mike, you were able to plug the website, wplives.org. Jeff, I know Rio Grande your society also has a website. Maybe you should plug that, because I know that we have a lot of Rio Grande fans that watch the channel.
Right. So the website for the Rio Grande is rgmhs.org. And go there, and we've got a pretty extensive website. Our webmaster's pretty good at maintaining it and updating it. And our headline right now is this convention. And if you're interested in doing it virtually or even signing up at this late moment, you can go to either of the websites and click on the link, and it'll take you right to the sign up.
I should mention also, if I'm not mistaken, it's only $25, right, for the virtual?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
So a bargain. And so at this late date, if you're not able to attend in person, you're going to be able to see what we see, those of us that are attending live and in person. So it's a great way to gather information, learn more, which I think we're all interested in, and see what we're all seeing. The only thing is you won't be able to shake hands.
Well, you can do an e-handshake, right?
There you go.
Right.
Sydney will be hosting the virtual event, as she always does, and she's really good at creating kind of this, I don't know, community of people when the virtual event is happening. Something that's also worth mentioning is if you're in the area, the Sacramento area, or drivable distance and haven't signed up already, and you find yourself not doing anything that weekend, you can still drive over and walk up and still register for the convention. So
absolutely,
walk-up registrations are welcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to people who haven't signed up and being surprised by who may show up.
And if you do actually decide to attend the convention, even walking up, there are some, great attractions. I mean, the Sacramento Railroad Museum itself, California State Railroad Museum, I should say, is amazing. If you've never been there, and even if you have, the displays are always interesting. There's always something new. They rotate the locomotives that are on display. And if you do decide to attend the convention and want to attend the banquet, it is being held on this ship right here. This is the Delta King, which is moored right across from the museum. You can see it sort of in the background there. And the convention banquet will be held on board. And it's a beautiful, beautiful ship in its own right. And I've actually spent the night there, and it's really something. Unfortunately, rooms are all sold out for the convention, but it's a neat ship to just go see, along with all the other attractions of CSRM.
I'm excited, and I think this will be a good time. It's the Rio Grande and Western Pacific, or Western Pacific and Rio Grande. I don't want to make anybody mad. Convention. So thank you guys very much for joining me. And one more time, if you want to plug those websites for people to register, I think it's a great idea.
All right. Well, Rio Grande is rgmhs.org, and you can go on there, and if you're really late, you can sign up and register for virtual. Or if you're in the area, like John said, if you have nothing better to do, and we hope you don't, stop by and see us in person.
And the other website is www.wplives.org, and that is the website. And you'll see, you scroll down on the main page and you'll see the convention logo. And it's also the portal for the Western Pacific Railroad Museum in Portola, California, as well as the Western Pacific Historical Society. Lots and lots of information on that website about the WP. I mean, personally, I use it as a modeling resource all the time. So please visit the website, and we really hope to see you either virtually or in person at the convention.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. And thank you for joining me today. And we will see you at the convention.
Yep.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for having us.
This is Friday, the 29th, and I'm here at Jack Burgess's Yosemite Valley HO scale layout. There were some people that I know who wanted to see the layout and had some time this morning. Not a lot of time, or else we would have probably seen some other layouts today. There's one really close by that comes to mind that should be seen. But anyway, we're here checking out Jack's layout. Jack has finally made it official that it's not going to be here forever. I think he's planning to take it out probably next year. So it's a chance for people to see it, and they knew that I know Jack and asked if I could help arrange a time, and so here we are. Luckily, I'm completely over my COVID. That was not fun earlier this month. But yeah, it's a good time. Nice people. Gorgeous layout, as you can see. And Jack's just in here telling the stories about the layout and the people on the layout and the stories about the Yosemite Valley Railroad. It's a good time.
Yeah, well, I taught us the hammer is almost an idea. They taught us the mailing schedule. For the sighting, I still remember.
This scene of Merced proper is a scene on Jack's layout that I think most people don't pay attention to, or don't see, or aren't familiar with. It's not really part of the operating scheme for the op session, but it's still a really cool, highly detailed scene of a place that you can still go and see. This is another one of my favorite things here. Jack Scratch built this out of brass and other metal. A backhead replica, right? Look, it even has the blow down valve. That's just really cool. And now for the catch of the month. These photos were taken by Kevin Hill in early August. Apparently, Union Pacific was running an unusual amount of trains out of Watsonville Junction due to some maintenance work on a bridge somewhere on the coastline, so they had to detour some of the freight that normally would have come out of Southern California and have it come out of Watsonville instead. This final shot was taken in Royal Oaks, just south of Watsonville. Nice catches, Kevin. Thanks for sharing. If you have a train or model catch you'd like to share, please email it to podcast@tsgmultimedia.com. Be sure you own the shots and include the whats, whens, and wheres of the shots you send in. In September of 2005, and I have to say it's hard to believe this happened 20 years ago already, TSG Multimedia released its first ever train-related video. This video was called Caltrain 2005, and it was released on VHS and DVD. That's right, I said VHS. That's how long ago it was. It documented Caltrain's operations as they were at the time, and Caltrain had just recently started express trains that they referred to as baby bullets. The baby bullets featured MP36s for power and Bombardier commute coaches. That video was what got me back into trains, and it's been all trains all the time since then. To commemorate the anniversary, I'm putting the DVD on sale at tsgmultimedia.com for $5 for the month of September. If this promotion's popular enough, I might even extend it. At this time, 20 years later, you can't even see most of the equipment featured on the DVD, so it's pretty historic already. And that goes to the very nature of what we do here at TSG Multimedia, documenting things that will be gone someday so that those of us who were there can remember how it was, and those who come after us can experience what once was considered commonplace. To get your special discount on a Caltrain 2005 DVD, enter Caltrain20 as the discount code during checkout. Caltrain20 is all caps, and I will put a link to the product page in the description of this video, so you can own this piece of history. So anyway, summer's ending, and there's still time to help the museums and historical societies that are running events to help fund their operations. So get out there and do something interesting. I really hope to see you on the TSG train crew soon. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this program, please join the TSG Train Crew on Patreon. TSG Train Crew members get behind-the-scenes access and ad-free sneak previews in 4K ultra-high definition. Go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia for more information.